Hi everybody. I'd like to lead us through a short flow sequence today. It might land at about half an hour, where we are starting to build the pieces of strength that we need for inverting. So we'll build shoulder strength, mid-back strength, and deep core strength. And to me, these two are very connected. So the belly and the mid-spine, all of this that helps to lift us and hold us, definitely part of the core back here. And I believe it actually starts with the strength of the inner thighs. So let's come onto our hands and knees. And when you get there, point your toes straight back. And rather than just dropping right away into a child's pose, press your hips back. So more back and less down. Stretch back. And as you inhale, shift forward and up. Exhale, draw back through your sitting bones, narrow your inner thighs. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, draw back, inner thighs, move toward the midline. Inhale, lift up. If you feel warm enough for it, touch your toes together and release into that child's pose. Finding the ground, finding the earth. If child's pose is uncomfortable for you, you can place a rolled up blanket between your thighs and your belly. That'll help the hips, or between the thighs and the calves. That'll help the knees. Let's take 5 breaths here to settle and ground. Breathing into a softness at the back of the heart. Even here, you're touching into a deep stretching, softening at the sitting bones. Expand, find the rhythm of your breath at your sacrum, and as you inhale, feel that wave drawing from the sacrum to the heart. As you exhale, the sacrum right here at the base of the spine, between the pelvic bones, softens. Inhale, one more breath, it billows lightly up. You feel that move through the spine, and you exhale and soften down. Your sacrum should move when you breathe. You're just touching in to make sure that there's some awareness there. And stretch your arms forward again and lift up. Separate the feet hip width apart to be in line with your knees. And as you inhale, just once or twice like you did before, but maybe we test this out and shift a little forward as well. And exhale, press back. Not to the point where your tailbone tucks under. So maybe you're just going back a little bit. Inhale, shift forward, and exhale, draw back. As you inhale, shift forward and bring your elbows to the ground, forearms down. You may need to walk your knees back or set yourself up to get your knees underneath your hips. And we'll start with the palms facing down in this variation, with the elbows squeezing into the earth. Try not to round your spine. Look forward, and as you inhale, shift forward and up through your chest. As you exhale, same thing. Try not to tuck your tailbone under. Press back through your hips. Elbows push into the earth. We're going to do this for a little while with different options. You shift forward and then you shift back. Inhale to shift forward. Exhale to shift back. As you continue to explore this movement, I'd like you to think about adding a bit of resistance to your forearms. So pull your forearms toward your knees as you draw back. And push your forearms slightly forward towards your hands as you lift up and forward. So you're just feeling this pulsation, slightly different relationship between the force of the arms and the hips. If this is easy enough for you, I'd like you to bring your hands together in prayer and take your fingertips to point to the sky. Pull your elbows back and lift your chin up and over your fingertips. It's the same exact movement, but you're giving yourself a little height challenge by taking the fingertips up. You're also still squeezing back through your elbows without the assistance of the forearms to create that resistance. So slightly more connection to the backs of the arms and even the muscles that hook into the back. Inhale, lift up and over the fingertips. Let's do this 2 more times. Exhale back, pulling the elbows to the knees energetically, pushing the elbows forward energetically, maybe out. Exhale back. You're going to come up and forward and pause. Now, whether the hands are lifted or whether they're lowered, stay where you are and then go forward. Pause. Pull the elbows back. Go forward. Pause. You're right at that edge. Can you go all the way to a place where you're really holding that line? And as you exhale, touch your toes together. Release your arms alongside your body back into a child's pose. As you inhale, sweep your arms forward again. This time, arms straight, palms wide, push down into your hands and lift your forearms. Upper arm bones move away from each other and triceps wrap down. So feel that as the arm bones move away from each other and the triceps hug down, the inner forearms are still lifting and the thumbs are still pressing. Really strong with the arms so that as you come up and into downward facing dog, you're already there. Now as you inhale, shift forward into a plank pose. And as you exhale, lower all the way to your belly. It's okay to come down however you do. And lift yourself back up onto your forearms. Okay? Bring your left hand across your body a little bit. So rather than being forward, it crosses. And stretch your right arm out. You can challenge this little movement by putting a blanket underneath that right hand. No need to, but you can. Because we do a lot of pushing in yoga, but we do very little pulling. So what I'd like you to do is drag your hand back, arm stays straight, and then push it out. And then pull it back. Maybe go a little bit to the side, off that corner of the mat, and draw it back. Maybe do a little circle forward and out, and then pull back, and go in reverse, out on the diagonal forward, and pull back. If this feels manageable to you, I'd like you to bring your left hand to your low back on the sacrum. And same thing, pull back. Inhale, out and around, and pull back. Exhale, out and around and forward, and pull back. Can you do that 2 more times, whether it's in a circle or in a straight line, whether it's on a diagonal or not. And when you come back, release your forearm, both of them to the ground. Take your right hand across, and we'll do the same thing on the left side. Reach out and then drag back. Really nice to have a blanket there. Find different angles. You can reach straight out to the left even and pull back. You can do these little circles around and in both directions, around and in. Arm stays straight. And once you feel that warmth, that heat building up, bring your right hand to your low back, taking the weight out, taking the assistance out, and you're still pulling, reaching, pulling, reaching. Maybe in that circle, try every angle you can possibly think of, straight in front of you, out on a diagonal. Do 2 more like this. Reach, draw in, reach, and draw in. Lower down, release. Tuck your tailbone into the earth. So, despite your best efforts, your low back might have felt that work there. Engage your glutes and just work here on lengthening your low back as much as possible so the QL feels just a little bit of support. Push into the tops of your feet, then interlace your hands under your forehead, and as you inhale, pick up your forehead with your hands, the elbows lift. As you exhale, tap your left elbow to the ground, pick your right elbow up. Inhale to center, exhale, right elbow lowers, left elbow lifts. Inhale to center, exhale, left elbow lowers, right elbow veers to the sky, like a little airplane veering in the sky, right elbow taps. Inhale, last time, left elbow taps. Inhale, exhale, right elbow taps. Come through center, release your hands by your ribs, push up onto your knees. Take your knees forward and then lift onto your fingertips and round your back. Feel the release at the shoulders, the release at the sitting bones, low back, good and broad. Send your hips to your heels, holding that rolled spine, and pull your fingertips toward your knees. Until you stack the bones and lift upright. Hook your thumbs. As you inhale, stretch, change the wave, press your arms back. And as you exhale, bend your elbows, chin in. Inhale, sweep your arms up, look up. Exhale, bend your elbows, squeeze in. Half downward facing dog. Stretch your fingertips out. Walk the knees back if you need the space. And put that gentle pull with the hands towards your knees as you draw your hips back. Sometimes this is called puppy dog. If you allow the chest to release toward the earth, it becomes more of an anahatasana or third Tibetan prostration, finding that extension at the upper chest, at the thoracic spine. Inhale, look forward, walk your hands back, and again, tuck your toes under, firm arms, downward facing dog. Slowly walk your feet forward to your hands, very slow, feeling into the movements that step you forward. Bring your feet hip-width apart and fold. Bend your knees a lot. Take your hands to your hips and draw your elbows back, and in doing so, take your heart forward. Drive your heels into the ground and lift all the way up. We're going to take a modified sun salutation practice into lunge sequences. Release your hands. As you inhale, sweep your arms all the way up. As you exhale, drop your chin, drop your tailbone, pull your elbows down. As you inhale, look up, fingertips reach tall, stretch. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, left foot steps back. Lower your left knee to the ground. Interlace your hands at your low back. And as you inhale, draw your tailbone forward and lift your chest up. Exhale, release your hands and straighten your front leg, toes point up. Inhale, shift forward, back toes tuck. Exhale, downward facing dog, step back. Step your left foot forward. Lower your back knee. Inhale, interlace your hands at your low back. Lift up your heart, tailbone curls forward. Exhale, fingertips drop, left leg straightens, toes point up. Inhale, tuck your back toes under. Exhale, step to the top of your mat and fold. Rise through the heart, long spine to lift up. Inhale. Exhale, chin lowers, tailbone lowers, elbows squeeze down. Inhale, lift up your heart, your eyes, your hands. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, right foot steps back, the knee lowers, point the toes. Interlace your hands. Inhale, curl the tailbone forward, lift the heart up. Let your hands drop closer to the side of your body rather than the sides of the foot. Inhale, shift forward, tuck those back toes under. Release your hands, downward facing dog, press back. Take a breath in, step your right foot forward. Lower your left knee down, interlace the hands. Inhale, press the chest open. Exhale, fingertips drop next to the hips, right leg straight, Ardha Hanumanasana. Shift forward, inhale, back toes tuck, hands come to the ground, step up. Lifting halfway, inhale, exhale, fold. Heart leads, push the heels back, drive the tailbone down and lift up. Exhale, elbows down, sternum to the sky. Inhale, eyes lift, hands lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift up halfway. Step your left foot back, lower the knee, point the toes. Interlace your hands, inhale, lift up a little different. I'd like you to tuck your toes under here, engage your deep belly, and as you press the back knee toward the sky, fold forward. This is a variation of humble warrior with the back heel lifted. Knuckles draw up. And then you'll drop your fingertips down, left hand to the earth, right arm opens into a twist. Release your right hand down. Place your right hand to the inside of your right foot and heel toe your right toes out. Hands under the shoulders, the right toes point out. You can start to dip your pelvis and take your shoulder heads back. Maybe the knee will come to the ground and you'll point your toes. If you're comfortably here with the left toes pointing straight back, on the diagonal, straighten your right leg and turn your toes back. Come forward again. Tuck the back toes under, lift the hips, and step your left foot forward into a squat, Malasana. The hips can lower, they can stay lifted in an active variation of a squat. Take a breath in, and then lift your sitting bones in line with your knees. Pause, hands to heart. Same action, push your heels down, drive through the legs to lift up. Inhale, feet hip width apart, arms rise. Exhale, elbows down, chin in. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Lift up halfway, inhale, step your right foot back. Lower your knee down, point your toes. Interlace your hands. Inhale, lift up your heart. Once you're upright, tuck those toes under and feel the thigh bones squeezing into the pelvis. Back leg straightens and your head lowers to the inside of your left foot, knuckles to the sky. Feel that reach. Drop the right hand down. Inhale, open up into a twist. Uncurl. Exhale, left hand comes to the inside of the left foot and you walk the toes out, turn it out, balance out your hands under your shoulders. Take a breath here, start to lower your hips. If you can bring the knee down, bring the knee down. Coming onto the fingertips to help. Point those toes. And if you're here on the diagonal, straighten the front leg back, toes point up. Inhale, shift forward, heart lifts, tuck the back toes under, and lift the hip. Step your right foot to the outside of your right hand. And this time, I'd like you to find a squat. You may actually need to sit on something, but bring your elbows to your inner knees and your hands to your heart. So, looking at it, you're in a squat, hands together. Squeeze your knees into your elbows to find your inner thighs. Now, elbows are still strong. They're pushing back, and then they butterfly your knees out. Everything working on everything. The knees pulse in, the elbows resisting. The elbows push out, the knees resisting. Do this a few more times. So good to do this with something under the hips supporting you. Just as strong, in fact, to do that. Take a few more rounds, moving slowly to work this deep engagement of the inner thigh line. You might even feel a stretch across the shoulders and chest, the arms, everything connected. Last one. As you inhale, release. Here you are in your squat. Fingertips come to the ground, hips lift a little bit. Again, drive into your heels, hands to your heart, press to lift up. Parallel your feet, but keep them wide. Release your right hand down to your right hip and sweep your left arm over your ear. Tailbone is reaching down. Inhale, come back to center, release the hand. Exhale, hand to hip, right arm over, maybe straightening to reach a little deeper. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, interlace your hands. As you inhale, lift up your heart. As you exhale, bend your knees and then fold forward. Keep your feet wide. Bend your left knee and push your right heel into the ground. Left shoulder will touch the left knee. And as you keep pushing the right leg to straight, turn your chest open, right shoulder toward the sky, the face follows. As you exhale, come through center, bend your knees. Bending the right knee, straighten your left leg and let that tip your right shoulder to your right knee, turning your chest open. So this is a push-pull at your feet. Left knee bends, right leg straightens. Kick the leg to straight. Turn the right shoulder up. Exhale, bend the knees. Kick the left leg to straight. Right shoulder touches, left shoulder lifts. One more time, bend the knees. Kick the right leg to straight. Turn open on the right shoulder. Bend the knees. Left leg kicks to straight, left shoulder lifts up. Release to center, drop your hands. As you inhale, come up halfway, heel to your feet, hip width apart. And as you exhale, step your left foot 3/4 of the way back for a pyramid pose, folding over straight legs. Heels press down. Inhale, shift forward. Bend your front knee. Draw your right hip back and bring your hands forward of your front foot, maybe 6 inches. Set the shoulders right over the wrists. So the work here is going to be to hold your shoulders in place, lock them in place. Now, typically when we try to kick a leg up, we start to do this bouncing on the shoulders. You're going to resist that. Shoulders stay absolutely still, kick up, and then just land. That's it. You're not trying to hit a handstand. You're just trying to hold your shoulders in place. And as you land, resisting that urge to tip the shoulders back. Do that one more time. Hold, straighten your legs, and fold over your pyramid. Lift up halfway, inhale. Left fingertips can come to the ground under the shoulder or to the outside of the right foot. Lift up into your twisting triangle. And as you exhale, release. Step into plank pose and shift to downward facing dog. Take a full breath in here. As you exhale, release. Bend your knees, step or jump forward. Inhale, lift up halfway. And as you exhale, right foot steps back for pyramid pose. Same thing, draw your left hip back, walk your hands forward, and lock your shoulders over your wrists. So this is really about finding those straight arms on the ground, pressing into the earth, and maybe doing a few kicks without letting the shoulders wobble. Lift up, little hold, lift up, and maybe one more time, lift up and land. Straighten your legs and fold over your pyramid. Inhale, halfway up. Right hand settles, left arm lifts, open to release. As you exhale, release. Step back to plank and downward facing dog. One more little shoulder sequence here. You'll shift forward and lower your knees to the ground. Pause. Step your right toes back and drop the heel. And lift up and open into a Vashisthasana, supported with the bottom shin down. If you need to take your left foot back a couple of inches for more stability, that's okay. But lift up into your heart. Now, if you can, take your right foot and just hover it a couple inches off the ground. Then take the foot behind you, bend the knee and start to point the knee up and stretch your right arm overhead. So maybe the leg is straight, maybe it's bent, maybe it's not, but you're starting to turn your chest back. And as you exhale, release. Take the right foot in line with the left knee again and take your right hand to the ground. The knee is still bent. Pull the heart forward. Try to get your heart between your thumbs and then return the right knee to the ground. Other side, left leg goes back. Drop your heel and then slowly reach your left arm up. This is a great way to build the strength of your wild thing for deeper practice. And again, if you need to take your bottom foot back an inch or two, go for it. And if you can, pick your left heel up a little. Push the heel back. Maybe that's as far as you go. Maybe you step your foot behind you a little bit. Feel that opening, that lateral opening, and take your left fingertips up, curl your heart toward the sky, leaning back. Left foot lines back up with the right knee in hand. Inhale here. Exhale, left hand to the earth. Pause to take your heart over your thumbs. Again, you're holding your shoulders over your wrists. Return your left knee. As you exhale, release back into child's pose. This time we'll deepen child's pose. Take a hold of your heels. Let your arms go straight and lift your hips up. Bring your head to the ground and let the top of your head find earth as close to your knees as you can to pick your sitting bones up. Really lift from your low belly. Give yourself a stretch. And as you exhale, release. Inhale, rolling up, hands to the shins, hands to the thighs, wherever they want to land. Shoulders soften away from the ears. If you have wall nearby, this is our inversion practice. You're going to bring your hands to the ground, and without taking your palms all the way together, separate them a little bit, like you're holding a flower there, a golf ball, whatever image works for you. There's an inch or two space between the palms. And rather than clasping your hands behind your head, it's the heel of the palm that's going to rest there. So the top of your head comes to the ground, tuck your toes in and walk in. Please don't kick up into headstand ever with one leg here. You're walking your toes in so much that eventually you bend a knee into a chest, you bend the other knee into the chest, and maybe this is where you hold. No need to go any higher than this. Yes, you can do this at the wall. Those of you that are a little bit stronger in your inversion practice, you're actually going to walk your toes in and with straight legs together lift up. You never kick when the weight is on the head. You go up as symmetrically as you can into a headstand. Forearms are pressing into the earth. Take a full breath when you get there. You can build this practice because it requires a lot of strength in the neck muscles. Build slowly, right? Never more than, 5-8 breaths when you're first starting. But eventually, over time, maybe you add. When you come down, you want to come down the same way you came up, never just dropping one leg at a time. See if you can bring both legs down, and then you'll rest in child's pose. Give yourself that release of your forehead. Roll yourself up, cross your legs, and come into a seated, cross-legged Sukhasana, allowing the spine to lift tall out of the shoulders. We've done a lot of twisting, which helps to build the strength of the spine. Let's take one here to release. So the gentlest twist you can imagine. It doesn't have to be in Sukhasana. You can alternate your legs however you want to, maybe even in Ardha Matsyendrasana, but just take your left elbow to the right and the right fingertips back. If you're cross-legged, it'll be the fingertips touching the leg, the fingertips touching the ground. Release, change sides. Whatever you did on the one side, you do on the other side. Full breath here. Lift through the column of the spine. Release your head, let it be free. And exhale to release. Take your legs forward a little bit wider than your hips, somewhere between a Paschimottanasana and an Upavishta Konasana. You're not too wide, you're not all the way together. And as you exhale, fold forward. So this is a relaxing forward fold. Let your head go. Shoulders soften. Inhale, bring yourself up. Step your hands behind you. You can keep your hips on the ground or lift up your hips. Again, this is a wide variation of Purvottanasana. You can point your toes and raise the hips up. pressing the ball of the foot toward the earth, slight internal rotation at the thighs, lift your tailbone up. Exhale, lower yourself down. And from there, release back onto your back. Let your palms face open. Let your legs soften, maybe even wiggle them out. Take a full breath into your sacrum. And again, exhale and release. Shavasana. Feeling into the strength that you've built into your spine. And trusting your body, this miracle of a form that is working every moment for your health, to find balance, to find stability, to celebrate your health. It's already happening. Begin to practice gratitude for all that your body does for you, for your ability to check in with it. Thankfulness, gratitude is one of the most important healing balms, healing practices we have on the whole planet. Just that. Choose 3 things, simple things that you're grateful for, right here. Notice how the fingers curl in, warm at the palms. Notice how alive your skin is. Hatha Yoga Anushasanam Yogas Chitta Vritti Nirodha. Here begins your practice. Namaste.